Gaming has a toxic positivity, which means if my with my knowledge, I think it's about the flaws or seeing the flaws the game has and then saying the game is amazing. Instead of saying as it is. Mm-hmm. Mm.
Gaming's toxic positivity problem. If this is what I think
Mm.
it is, I'm going to be so happy.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's video I want to discuss a huge problem in the gaming community, and that is toxic positivity. It seems that no matter where you look, whether it's the games journalists or YouTubers,
Yeah.
90% of the people are just overwhelmingly
Overwhelmingly
positive and
positive.
happy about every single thing going
Thing
on,
that's going
and they
on.
never have a negative thing to say unless it's
Yeah.
about Black Myth Wukong or Hogwarts Legacy that fits the narrative, but they're always positive and are never critical of any game devs. And if you are a real person and have, an opinion that might be negative about a game, if you say something bad about a game developer, if you point out negative things they're doing, they shun you to the side, and it's all for specific purposes, which we're going to break down in this video today.
Oh
Okay.
yeah,
So why do
absolutely.
these people
As soon as I
have
said
this
that Wukong's combat kind of sucks, holy shit, dude.
toxic positivity and are
You just
become
get dog built on. I don't think the Wukong combat is that great because I played Wulong, and Wulong's combat is way freaking responsive. Like
the
this is
ultimate consumers. And that's
immersive,
basically
yo.
because they want to be BFFs with the game developers, try to
Thank
Access
fucking
journalism.
God somebody can see through it. Thank fucking God. And by
Let's
the
go.
way, the term that he's trying to use, I don't know if he's going to use it later on in the video.
Access journalism.
What the term is actually called is access journalism.
Right there.
And that's
See?
what these people are engaging in.
Yep.
They're engaging in
It happens in India too with the phone reviews and the computer. I don't think many people sponsor computers, but most of the reviews, this kind of access journalism happens in India. I think the primary thing I saw in the general consumer side is phones. Mobile phones has this problem.
positive feedback and positive reviews of games
Yeah.
in the hopes that this will lead to future
Yeah.
benefits and
Future free products.
exceptions.
They don't.
You want free stuff? Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
one said the same thing. Yeah, toxic positivity. Yeah, because like people don't want to criticize the game because if you
Yeah.
criticize the game,
You won't
then
get
they
the
might
next
not
game.
sponsor you.
Yeah.
act like, they're part of the gaming circle to give off the illusion.
I mean, it kind
that
of
they're
makes
on the
sense because if you said bad things about a game or a product, and then why the hell that company will try to sponsor you the next time to sell you a different product? You already established that you don't like their product. That's kind of in terms of their business perspective, it's kind of bad, right? Oh, I want to see the PlayStation 2. It's a fucking disaster. Like the PlayStation 5, the new one, the Pro. Like, I don't get it. The Pro and being a console doesn't even match.
inside crowd,
If you want to be a pro at a video game, you play it on computer, dude.
they have
What's going
insider
on?
knowledge of the game
On that
industry
regard.
to try to pump their brand up. And
Which,
they
by the way, like what's weird to me is that actually makes me trust somebody less. Like I would much rather, like if I want to know whether a game is good or not, like I remember
I mean, if I want to see whether a game is good or not, I will just see the gameplay. Or if there is a demo, by all means try the demo. Like, do not listen to these dumbasses. They just there is so much access journalism and there is so much biased. Like they don't know what your tastes are and what are the things you like. Like they have their own opinion. It's always been their own opinion, right? About the reviews and everything. It's never been objective. Like the performance issue is objective, yeah. But the gameplay, the way the loot works, the what do you call it? The bosses being damage high, like that is all are subjective. Like objective and subjective is super hard to differentiate.
apparently Battlefield 2041, I think that's the new one, got a lot better after the release. Is that correct? I might be
I
forgetting
guess.
it or thinking of another game, but I believe that that's what happened, right?
I don't
2042.
know about that Battlefield. I
Yeah,
don't play those.
it got a lot better. Yeah, so basically, I went to this one pizza place, and Like the guys there, they were
Battlefield.
like, they
What other
recognized me. They're
games
like,
are
you know,
looking
oh
at?
yeah, they're like, it's the guy,
Cyberpunk.
right? And so it's like, oh fuck, now I have to tip these guys because they know I have money. And so I go to
Yeah.
a pizza place and they're doing this, and they're like, bro, when are you gonna play Battlefield 2042? I'm like, what do you mean? And they're like, I thought that game was dead. They're like, yeah, it was, but like now we're playing it and we're having fun. Like we've been playing it all the time. And like I personally take that like that like word of mouth type of advertising, I take that way more seriously than like
Hmm.
anything else. Because those are people that like they're not being paid to say this. They don't have an investment in this. It's
Hmm.
authentic.
Know if they are negative about
I mean, and then there is the sunk cost fallacy too. If they bought the game with higher amount or buy the deluxe edition, they will obligated to say the game is good and make you try it. So they can validate their own purchase being a better purchase. It's super hard to tell. Never listen to anyone else. Like you make your own research and then play the game with the demo or something yourself. Like I played the Final Fantasy 14. The early combat sucked dick, and then I unlocked the more spells. The gameplay is way better. It's really hard to tell. Like you gotta play the game to figure that out. I think Steam has that refund policy, so be sure to use that. Like have a timer or alarm or something on your phone and try out your game yourself. You know.
It's
games.
Like
natural.
it's always it's the user experience is always subjective, and you gotta use it yourself in order to figure that out if it's right for you. Even a small detail that you don't like will be missed in these kind of reviews. Like the reviewers don't talk about anti-aliasing. Like some of the games, like Wukong has so much sharpness. Little people talked about that. Like the FSR and the DLSS, the upscaling or something. I don't know what they did. But Wukong game in native resolution looks really sharp. It's annoying. Yeah, annoyingly sharp. Not in the sense of quality, it's just the artificial sharpness. It's like if you increase the sharpness in your TV, everything looks like a grainy, right? That graininess is in Wukong. Nobody even mentioned it, you know? But if you're a person who doesn't like that, it's harder for you to, like, it's harder for them to tell you that, and it's harder for you, you know?
Yeah.
or negative in
It's
any
really
kind of
hard
way,
to figure that differentiation.
game devs are
Mm-hmm.
less likely to work with them, play
Fucking
nice with them, or
exactly.
give
Yep.
them insider information that may boost their channel
Yep.
or their
Yeah.
game company.
Same goes for every product, like mobile phones, Nvidia, AMD. Like the AMD reviews are always good because as soon as you say something bad about AMD GPUs, you won't get another product to review.
They work for like
You know?
IGN or something like that. And this is
But the funny part is, even though the channel is so big, they want to invest their own money. They really want to have that free products because it's free. You know, it's one of them is free, and the earliest information is very key too in terms of
a very
success.
And
bad
what's really weird to me about this
Yeah.
is that, like, you guys know how critical I am of Blizzard. And I've had nothing but positive interactions with Blizzard. So it's like
That's
you
really
don't have
hard
to
to
sell
pull
out
that
your
out.
integrity in order
Yeah.
to have a relationship with a company. You don't even have to do this. But all of them insist and focus on it, and it's so annoying. Recently? Yeah, but the ironic thing is that when I was more positive about the game, they were more negative about me. The real reason
That's
why
hard.
recently it changed, I'm just going to go ahead and tell you guys the truth, because they got different people. That's the reason why. Yeah, pretty simple.
People who hated him got
thing
fired.
because companies use this to their advantage.
Lol.
Let's look at the Insomniac leaks. That's a great one.
Yeah.
Greg Miller and all these people, everyone was white knighting for them, being like, "Oh, we can't."
Wait, I gotta change the React section. Give me a second. ES 5, right? 5 Pro and the games letter. Yeah, I think I can react to 2 videos, probably. And then maybe I will interest. Man, okay.
Discuss the leaks. We can't.
Mhm.
No one's asking you to talk about the personal information, or no one's saying you should, it's okay to hack companies. But when these leaks come out, these are important things that you need to discuss. And instead, you go off and talk about, we're going to talk about the human toll of all the people in Insomniac that work hard. Or let's say.
I think leaks suck, and I don't want to see people publishing the leaks, but I think not being able to talk about them is also silly. So, like, I'm very much negative about leaking. And I think that it does really suck for the development studio, but it's like people constantly are being asked to look at things from the perspective of a group that they're not part of. Yeah, leakers are annoying. Yeah.
A game
Wait,
is
leaks
bad.
kind of rules the hype, you could
Objectively
say.
bad.
Boy Swap? What the hell is that?
Yeah.
Is that a game?
A game is bad.
PS5? Is that real? I'm gonna Google it. Goy Slap. I hope it's not something bad. PS5. No, it's not real. It's a fake.
Objectively bad. It always has to be with the caveat of, I know it's just so hard to make games, guys, so I don't want
Yeah.
to be too overly critical. But it's
Nobody cares. Like, it's a digital product. It doesn't mean anything. Like, you can have a freaking Control C, Control V that, and then print a million copies. Like, people got other issues that's way more critical than this video game. Like, they don't understand the fact at the end user, they don't really give a shit about this at all. Like, it's just, they don't. They really don't. As soon as you are asking for money, the only thing the people who is paying money probably will only care about the quality and the product they are receiving is they up to their standards. That's it. Like nothing else matters. Like straight up. Like if you think it matters, you are delusional, and if you are saying it matters to you, you are just lying straight up. Even though if you are truthful to that, you will be vastly outvoted by the majority that doesn't give a fuck. Yeah.
just an
There is a reason why Redmi and Realme and freaking every Oppo, Vivo, everything is a Chinese imported brand, dude. Every phone we got in India is a Chinese brand phone. Why do you think the reason is? Because it's cheap. It doesn't matter where it comes from. Be India, buy India doesn't mean anything. At the end of the day, people can't afford it, so they afford the cheaper alternatives they can get. And the company that can provide cheaper alternatives will always win, no matter what happens. Like, think about Geo. We had Airtel, Aircel, Vodafone, Idea, Docomo. Half of the company got annihilated because Geo just gave free SIM cards to people. You know, at the end of the day, people don't never cares about anything else except the product they want for the cheaper price. That's it. If Concord was free to play, it would have had some kind of fan base. The reason why they thought to charge for Concord money when Overwatch went free to play. You see how out of touch and how hubris that was? When I saw that, I just freaking said, "You deserve your failure." You know, I don't care how much you worked for. It doesn't matter. Like you fucked up, right?
okay game at best. Instead of just coming out and saying, the game sucks.
Right.
I swear, making video games is the only job in the world where you could completely fail at what you do and everyone just coddles you. If I show
Yeah.
343 POV. Oh
Holy shit!
God. How could yes?
For 10 years, you guys remember that 343? fucked up Halo for the past 10 years, over a decade. They fucked it up so hard that they are ashamed to put the Master Chief on the freaking box of Xbox nowadays. Have you guys noticed that? Let's see. Xbox console. Unboxing. Because before, when you buy a console Xbox, like it had a Halo theme or something in there. You know, it's a box product. Nowadays, it doesn't even have freaking Cortana got removed from Windows. Why do you think that happened? You know, it's a disaster. It's a dumpster
Absolutely.
fire.
Yep.
10 years, man.
Showed up to work and made a shit product
Yeah.
or fucked up, I'd get fired.
That's what's so crazy to me.
Yeah, you
Is
get
that
fired,
every time a company like a games
and you will
company
get
makes
remarked,
a really bad
and you
game
let
that
get
doesn't sell
another
and make
job.
money, and then
Yeah.
the company gets shut down, people act like, you know, like a crime was committed. Like how could any, this is so terrible. Oh no. It's fucking
Yeah.
obvious. You make dog shit, nobody buys it. How could this happen? It's
Yeah.
obvious. Concord, Acolyte, yeah, there's a lot of them like that.
What
The
else is
studio that
there?
made Redfall.
Anthem.
And they act like it's a tragedy.
Greedfall.
No, it's not. That's the
Redfall.
opposite. It's a free market.
Like with Herman Hulse, he made the game. You know, he made the executive decision. I'm pretty sure it was him to buy Firewalk Studios that made Concord, saying it's going to be the next big thing. Herman Hulse should be fired, and everyone
How? How Concord is gonna be the next big thing? How? How?
should be
I
ripping
wanna
the
know.
shit
How?
out of Herman Hulse, but instead
I wonder what the fuck this guy said in the presentation to make investor to invest in this game, dude. I want
Said
to
it's
see that
you know,
video.
Absolutely.
I want to
absolutely,
see
he should.
what he presented
Because
in
the
the
thing is also like
presentation.
a lot of times, and this is one thing that's disappointing, is that individual developers are not perfect either, but they also are, they're the footmen, right? They're not the general. They're not the commander. They're not the captain. They're told to make this and then they make it. That's it. So these people are the ones that lose their jobs when oftentimes it's somebody at very top who's actually making mistakes. I love it whenever I see CEOs get fired or like people in like C-suite positions get fired, because then I know there's real accountability. Same? Yeah. Jim
oh,
Ryan?
it's
Yep.
subjective and they just missed the boat, or with the
No, they didn't.
developers that made Concord. Dude, you made a product that no one asked for, no one wanted. Stop with this, oh, but the gameplay is just so good, and you know, it's just not good enough to be...
The problem is that Concord aligned with the social, what's the word? The social requirement
Yeah,
that people have to behave or speak a certain way. So
like a social requirement that nobody had. You know?
Concord had
Not real
things that
people
couldn't
having.
be criticized in it. Like, for example, things like the pronouns and, you know, like different types of representation issues. So
Who cares?
those things cannot be criticized by game developers.
I don't
sorry, by
care,
game
dude. I
journalists.
identify as a
So
Godzilla
if
if
you
I
look
can
at every
play,
single person's
play a
review
fun
and
game.
discussion of
Like
Concord,
Jesus Christ.
not a single one of them is addressing any of the problems that evidently
on.
everybody had in every comment section discussing the game.
I mean, I appreciate that having options is no problem, but you don't have to make the game around it. Like he, she, they, would you just let us customize whatever the name we want to hide it be as. I find it as a customization feature rather than anything. You know, I don't mind that, but you know, like why do you have to like every aspect of the game is supposed to be like that? You know. Like as an MMO fan, I like character create customization. You know, why can't we? Why can't you be a gay black dwarf? You know, it would be fun. Like people like to do that stuff in role playing stuff. You know, that's why Baldur's Gate was pretty popular. You can do random shit in that game just because of that appeal.
So it's basically like, it's the elephant in the room. and nobody can acknowledge that it exists. That's the issue.
Yeah,
And
it's too
that's the reason why
political.
people made excuses for Concord. It's because it
What's that?
ideologically
Woke.
aligned with the way that they viewed
I
things.
think that's the word. Too woke.
Underrepresentation as armor for bad
I
game
mean,
design.
the funny part is the only thing that woke means in my country is just you waking up from sleep. You know? We don't give a shit about this. Like, India has the second most popular population in the country, right? We don't give a shit. You know, we want a good game. Like, nobody in India cares about this at all. Like I said, the word woke means waking up from sleep here. Literally, that's it.
Yeah. And they all blamed it on $40. Yeah.
You know, passions for weak.
They
That's
blamed it
it.
on $40. It's just stupid.
I mean, it's to an extent, but not really. You know, it's like it. How do I put it? Like the $40 was like it's like an entry fee for a shitty auto, pretty much.
But like, didn't you guys find that interesting that with Concord, every single person gave the same take? That's why whenever game journalists were complaining, oh, well, you're only just going to have one company for game reviews. Really? I thought we've had that for the last 10 years.
Hmm.
They all say the
Really
same
good
thing.
anymore. Just say you made a fucking bad game, but they'll never do that because they don't want to lose access and the illusion that they're insiders and part of this community to go to these gaming events and everything.
Yeah.
So they're not
So
real
annoying.
or anything like that. And game companies use it to their advantage to mass criticism against their products. They'll send you the yellow cyberpunk chairs. They'll send you all the stuff if you're nice. But if you criticize them
Yeah.
in any way, even if it's minuscule or say any negative thing, they will blacklist you and shun you.
And the real problem here is that
Is you cannot blame them for that either. Like if you're having a freaking product and somebody says your product is bad, you are gonna give them another product for them to review. Like think about that. Like you cannot blame them for it either. It's the best business motive you can do. To have someone to say positive things about your product is it's just basic common sense, you know. They don't want to improve. Always, this is gaming became a business, and business is always revolves around minimum effort and maximum profit. That's how it works. So it's easier to have a minimum effort giving the game to a person that actually positively reviews it than to improve the game itself. You see how it works? Like it's so simple. Like it's people can't think. Like it's you don't have you. This kind of conclusion can a 15-year-old can come up with.
reviewers and YouTube content creators exist for the benefit of the customer. So, for example, like for me, like if I'm giving you guys bad takes on games because
Yeah, that's why I say AMD is dog shit because I don't care. It's a dog shit company that it doesn't have any products in terms of GPU that's functional. Like it's dog shit. Do not buy AMD GPUs ever. Because I personally use one, it sucks. I gotta read it's so bad to the point. I gotta read every update patches that comes out with the driver update, dude. To figure out which game is getting fixed. And I don't think they have a driver for Wukong yet. And I beaten Wukong already. You know, it's just oh my god, it's stupid, dude. Like if you want to, the CPU side is not great either. It took them 6 generations to compete with Intel. And funniest part is they were able to compete with Intel because Intel fucked up their processors. Otherwise, they weren't competing shit. Because with the new the big little core features, Intel just annihilated AMD in their own game, which is the core count, right? Before AMD's follow bill was the core count, and Intel annihilated it in the core count. You see?
as like I'm getting paid by the developer or something like that, then my purpose as a content creator is then broken, right? Because people are going to look, and this is if people are looking at me for like to get an insight into whether I they should buy a game or not. So like if I'm giving
I mean, you said freaking Monster Hunter is good, but when I played it, feels like dog shit, you know? It really depends. It's a personal opinion, right? Like, you cannot have a product that's it's so, like, subjective, like, objective. Subjective, yeah. It's super subjective. Like, it's some things that he like, I don't like at all. You know, some things I like. I like the Wukong Fallen Dynasty, but he doesn't like it. So people have different tastes, you know. But they can give a overall review, right? So you always have to have a grain of like have a suspicion while you are looking at something.
feedback and I'm
It's very hard to do that, you know.
telling my audience one thing,
Like many people, like this recent example with the AMD GPUs, I say even though it's dog shit, right? I think AMD GPUs are dog shit. It's like my mantra at this point. AMD GPU dog shit. But the funniest part is, in my experience, Wukong didn't even crash once when I played it. But everybody else was crashing left and right when they are using a Wukong and playing Wukong and AMD GPU. You know, it's super like a person to person differentiation. You know, really hard
and that thing is not true,
to have the actual truth.
then I'm going to lose my audience.
Yeah,
That's just what happens.
that's why they never say the video is sponsored. Like every game IGN reviews is a fucking sponsored video. Like, come on. You
Right.
think they're paying for the game? Fuck no, they don't.
Right? That's what's happened with game developers, or sorry,
Yeah.
game journalists. Is
Game
that a
journalists,
lot
yeah.
of them have been consistently telling people things that aren't true. This game's a
Yeah.
7 out of 10. No, it's not. It's a 3. And guess what? People find that out and they stop watching them. That's what happens.
Yeah.
People don't like being lied to. Yeah, exactly.
I never watched IGN.
Yeah, once you're a
review
show, if you're a
once.
show once, you're a show forever.
Or a review.
Yeah,
No,
and I
fuck
think
no.
it's fine. Like people take sponsors and everything. That's okay. And there's obviously going to be people that are like,
I think the funniest part is one of these corpo that actually puts effort into what they are doing with their content is FX for Life. Have you guys seen their Elden Ring pages? Jesus Christ. They have a fucking mind map for her movesets that Margaret has. Like, it's just insane the depth it went with their sites and everything. You know?
going to defend a game because they personally like the game for whatever reason.
Yeah.
But I think that whenever it becomes so
Like,
unilateral,
he defends a new world. You know?
like with Concord, it becomes very obvious that there is some form of agenda being pushed.
Mm.
Yeah, just be
Yeah,
honest
that's
about it.
true.
Exactly. It's what's happening with Star Wars channels. The ones defending the Acolyte series are the ones meeting the writer and we're giving gifts. Yeah, of course.
Oh, yeah.
At least with the sponsor, it's disclosed. Yeah, exactly.
And people are scared to do anything. Because let's say you're critical about product A. The, product B people might think, they were, kind of harsh on this. We
Yeah.
might not want to send them our game. So they use it to their advantage, and ultimately it's
Yeah, I said that game companies need to start doing this with me. Is that if a game company is going to release a game and they know it's going to be bad, they should preemptively pay me money to not play it.
Yeah.
Like basically like an anti-sponsorship.
Oh, yeah. Me too.
Yeah, like please do not. We saw the Star Wars Outlaw video. No, please. Look, we're going to give you $50,000. Please do not play our game.
consumers that are harmed by this toxic positivity. We, as the consumers, have the power. If someone makes a product, it deserves criticism. Just like if I make a
Yes.
YouTube video.
Wukong, Elden Ring, freaking Lies of P, Sekiro, everything is a subject. It's a product for criticism, you know. And the criticism can be subjective. It's not a problem at all. Like it's, you know, like come on.
Do I sit there and delete comments of people talking shit about me? No. I'll talk with them back and forth in the comments, try to come to a common ground, and it's all good. That's
Yeah, I'm not gonna do that. It's just stupid. Like if people some of the people in the comment section are super dumb. Like, it's known for a fact that the DLSS frame generation and the FSR frame generation gives you a massive input lag when you are playing the game, right? But this guy doesn't even know that and then says that what you are saying, that's not input lag, it's animation lag. Like, it's just so dumb. Like, some people are dumb in the comment section. You don't I don't want to bother explaining them to. It's like explaining goldfish that is living in the water. Like, how the fuck you are gonna make it understand? You know?
What makes people better with everything.
I
Not
just
all,
freaking
you know,
fucking purge the comment
negative
section.
comments
Like, I don't care.
or, you know, criticism is bad. Sometimes it's
Like, nothing you can say is gonna convince me. I think combat in Wukong sucks. It's not fun. Like, Warhammer is a boring game because you shoot the same thing from the stage 1 to the stage freaking 95. You know? Like, Elden Ring bosses are bullshit, two-shot, mega damage motherfuckers. Like, it's never gonna change how I feel about it. Like, what's the point? What are you trying to prove? You know?
positive criticism. It's criticism of
Industry insult to embrace the recipient develops a negative attitude, forces on a individual and the like offers being non-actionable. I think I am doing a mix of both. Like, I'm not doing full destructive, I'm not doing full constructive either. I'm doing a mix of both because I'm so mad because I paid fucking real cash, full amount of price to buy that game, dude. Of course I'm gonna be fucking mad. You think freaking 3,000 rupees in India is a small cash? It's a month's grocery for me. And blow it up on your shit game and it plays like dog shit.
saying next time you do
I'm gonna fucking destroy your game if the game is not good, you know?
something, you need to do better.
Your games are not cheap and you expect me to be more constructive about it?
And what ends up happening
know?
is we are getting worse and worse products because everyone wants to act like everything's all good and no one
Yeah.
gives any kind of feedback at all.
You think Elden Ring DLC bosses are bullshit? Go fight freaking Wukong. You know? You think Wukong's bosses are bullshit? Go fight the next Dark Souls game that comes out. You know, that's how it goes. It just devolves into freaking oblivion. Like, they somehow made Radon look like a fair fight with the Wukong game, dude. Radon feels like a fair fight. Radon. Feels like a fair fight compared to that. What's his name? I kind of don't remember. It's the secret boss. It's the fucking third eye dude.
I actually think this problem is a lot more pervasive than people might imagine, and it's a lot worse than people might imagine. Like, the issue that we have with like developers and like journalists having close personal relationships is actually very problematic. It is because it's going to change the way
Kind of
that
like how Nvidia Optimus game run like crap. I mean,
they're going to
GPUs.
provide
Yeah,
coverage
I
on
can
games.
see that.
It's like food critics, it's everywhere, not just gaming though.
AMD
I
GPUs
understand.
optimized to
But
run like
like,
crap on Nvidia.
I'm
Yeah.
in gaming the most, so I see it the most.
And you can tell if you look at the, you know, the game shows going on now.
Yeah.
The Gamescom in Germany.
Mm-hmm.
I'm pretty sure that's where it was. They
Yeah.
showed off. Jeff Keighley just has this fucking, I don't know what it is. He just likes having 2-hour shows or maybe 5 of the games shown people are actually excited about. And you show all this fucking artistic fucking slop games that no one is gonna play. And all the people, the toxic positivity people, oh, it looks so much fun, it's charming and this, they don't fucking play the game because no one does.
Cozy game.
And you look at
That's also true.
Cozy
I mean, this
games.
is the case with any games expo. I don't think that that's necessarily a
Yep,
problem.
there it
I
is.
know the
Everyone is
exact
saying
games that
cozy
he's
on the
talking
chat right
about,
there.
and I do find them to be annoying. Like, what was that game show where like every single game was like a soy game? I'm trying to remember what it even was.
I
But,
know.
like, I was sitting there losing my fucking mind. Like, everyone was like a farming cozy simulator, something like that. Future Game
Yeah,
Show.
dog shit.
Maybe that was it. And I was just going crazy. Yeah, I didn't even know what to do. And so I don't really think it's necessarily a problem with like the game show itself. The reason why Jeff does that, you want to know the real reason? It's because a lot of the good games, the publishers want to announce themselves. So like there's no E3 and there never will be again because publishers control the ability to broadcast and their own ability to advertise a game now in a way that they didn't have ownership of in 2005. So like why would you want to advertise your product alongside competitors if you could advertise your product by yourself and use it to sell your other products? Well, that's why you have Nintendo Direct, State of Play, and Xbox showcases. There you go.
The reaction of the crowd in Germany, no one was clapping.
Nobody
no one was
cares.
excited for any of this stuff. And you compare it to the events where all the the
It's easier to get investments like that too. Yeah.
journalists and YouTubers are at, where they'll just start seal clapping for any fucking game that gets announced, no matter.
To be fair,
Seal
if
clapping.
I'm in an audience and somebody announces a game and I don't find it to be good, I will still clap for it because it's the polite, nice thing to do, and that's fine. I try to be a nice guy. What can I say? That's the etiquette.
Yeah,
And
seal clapping.
it's okay. I'm not going to like get up and like stand on my chair and like get this bitch out of here. What the fuck is this? I won't fuck that shit. Yeah. I'm just not gonna play the game.
How it looks, because they can't
Yeah, I try to be polite.
possibly have any kind of opinion that's negative to get shunned and blacklisted by the
I
companies.
feel like, by the way, Yong has made like tons and tons and tons of videos that have been negative about games. Like, I don't really know if that's a good example.
that they suck off. These companies
Yeah.
are trying to get your money and get as much of it as possible. We as consumers need to be critical. We need to stop this toxic positivity bullshit, and we need to get back.
That's why I always want to, when I see a review, I will always go to the negative section because negative people are more real than the positive ones. You know? It feels like the positive reviews are made by bots. And then if you want to see the real people, you go to the negative section. In every kind of comments, like reviews or anything, in Amazon, in Steam, you will see the real shit right there. You know? You go to the negative.
To actually having some kind of objective opinions about things.
Yeah.
Be real. And this is not
The
all
problem is that people base their reviews off of things that are not including the game and like the gameplay.
I mean, sometimes yes, but be real is also becomes it's super subjective. Like I'm just saying like a broken record. It's very personalized. Review is always gonna be personalized. You can technically give a general review for wider audience, but it's really hard to do that. But the more you try to do that, the more the more generalized everything will be. You know.
Like, people care a lot about like the gender or the race of a protagonist, or they care about like whether something is live service or not.
Race and the gender of the protagonist. I think it's. I mean, if the black chick looks nice, I don't give a fuck. I will play it. You know, freaking Gamora is green, and she is the hottest character I recently saw in a video game. In Star Wars, look at this. And what's his game? Guardians of Galaxy. Guardians of Galaxy. Game. Gamora. You see this shit? And she's green, dude. She's green. Like it's never been the color, dude. It's how they look. It's always how they look. If she's, it doesn't matter if she's any color. Like if she looks nice, people would like her. That's how it works. You know, this is the best version of Gamora I ever seen in the Guardians of Galaxy. Straight up. You know, not even close. Come on.
And I think that
Everybody would agree. Nobody is caring about what her skin color is. She looks super pretty and people like her for it. That's it. Color doesn't mean anything.
Like so much of game reviews are built off of some sort of like weird like rubric of expectations, right? And there are all of these like distortions where it's like,
Like you can have a transgender character that is also LGBTQ friendly and everything like that, but make them look pretty. That's what people like to see. It's more acceptable like that instead of ugly 70-year-old dude that's, you know, that's LGBTQ. You know, nobody wants to see that. It's not, it's unnerving, you know. People don't say it out loud, but that's how they feel. Like in that, I think they did it on Last of Us, right? Like the two 50-year-old gay dudes just kissing in the front scene. Like if they just zoom in the camera and then show it to us, like who wants to see that? You know,
live service. This game is live
like come
service.
on.
And live service is bad, therefore this game is bad. And there's a lot of examples of that I think that we have now. And I feel like pretty much every single one of them is bad.
YouTubers are all games journalists. I'd say it's about like 90% of them. There are still some real people.
You want a real
Like,
game
I'll, shout
journalism?
out
Go see
Solid
my
Rev,
Elden Ring
real
video.
YouTuber.
Jesus
Another
Christ.
one. I know a lot of people say he's a PlayStation fanboy, but that Broken Games HDR guy, he did a video on Concord shitting on it, saying that I'm grave dancing on this. I'm happy this game failed because we don't want this shit. And I was so happy to see that. Because again, that is a game that no one asked for. Sony fans have been asking for Killzone, Resistance.
It's crazy how Killzone was so good, and people that are probably under the age of 25 don't even know what it is. I remember
I
when
have
that
no idea
game
what
came
it is
out, it
either,
went so
but I am
fucking
27
hard.
though. I
Killzone
gotta
was
check
fun.
it
Yeah,
out.
it was awesome. Killzone, it was a Killzone 3 that sucked. I played the first one. I liked it a lot.
Mm.
I don't know
Sly
if I did
Cooper,
the second one. I don't remember.
Infamous, bring
Yeah.
back your franchises. SOCOM. But yet you release this fucking dog shit game and put hundreds of millions of dollars, supposedly. I know everyone's like, where'd you get that number?
Yeah.
Supposedly they put that much there.
It seems like they probably spent over $100 million. I would be amazed if it was under 50.
I mean, from what I've seen, the gameplay was phenomenally good, but it's just the character that looks like dog shit in that game. Concord played really well. I saw some of the gameplays. Some streamers actually played that dumb game.
And I would honestly be amazed if it was over under 100.
I think it kind of played better than Deathloop. Deathloop. I don't know what's it called.
This game that no one fucking wants.
I mean, it's on par with
need
it,
to
I could
stop
say.
being fake, toxic positivity bullshit and go back to being real. I really think this ended up really taking hold more when politics started entering video game discourse far more.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
true. Specifically American politics. It has nothing to do with the Eastern politics at all. It's specifically Western American politics, I think. Straight up.
The moment that people started to
Nobody in fucking Mexico, I don't think he cares about any of this stuff at all. I don't think so. Nobody in freaking what's that in South America side? Spain. Nobody in South America cares about it either. It's just the America. It's that small, the main country right there is the only country that cares about this dumb shit.
giving reviews and giving opinions about video games based off of something that was not the gameplay.
Yeah.
That was the fucking end. That was the problem right there.
Yep. Absolutely. Always has been.
Politics entered everything. Well, I think it's just, it depends on the way that you view it. I think that people actually love games that involve politics. I think Metal Gear Solid is a great example of that. I think what people don't like are games that take one-dimensional black and white stances on social issues and present them in a way that feels patronizing. I think
like
that's really
how many the logos in the bathroom. Those are all dumb people
where
politics
the hostility
right there.
comes from. It's not actually about the politics themselves.
You can't even use the
Games that
bathroom
tell
in the
you what
video
to
game. Who fucking cares, dude? Oh my god, I'm just losing my mind. If it's a Sims game, if it's a GTA 6, your argument will make sense. I think it was like an FPS game. You can't do shit there. People are
think.
mourning
Yeah,
about
exactly.
that.
Politics, yes. Propaganda, no. Yeah, and I think also it's like I think Star Wars Outlaws. I'll go back to that as like an
Freaking
example.
Warhammer is
Is
about
that
politics
you can
too.
never really do anything that's like really bad in games. And I think that whenever you have a story that's supposed to be like a narrative and you control the narrative, but you can never really go too far off the course, that story doesn't really feel authentic. And I think that's what happened with Star Wars Outlaws. And I think it's what happened like with WoW too. Is that I know WoW will never do certain things and they will never tell stories in certain ways because of the politics that are behind them.
Oh
And
yeah.
knowing that removes a lot of my connection to the game because of that.
I don't know why this ever fucking happened. It's video games.
Yeah.
It is just a fucking hobby. No one cares where you sit politically. Just make good fucking games and people will buy it. It's really that simple. And the people
Yeah, I think a good example of this is like Kojima. I don't know what any of Kojima's actual political beliefs are. He's Japanese. I don't really care. It doesn't matter to me. But he's making games that are critical. Like, I mean, you don't need to be anti-war. Yeah, it seems that way, right? I mean, you don't have to, like, there's a level of a message that can go, like, because you've got to think about it, right? I mean, this is a Japanese guy, and he's making games that are, you know, a critique on, I guess, in some cases, like the military-industrial complex. And you can look at Tolkien as well. Like, anybody who's writing stories that have any sort of, like, real depth to them. And, like, these stories, like, while they are about contemporary issues, the contemporary issues serve as a... they serve as a vessel to talk about a long-term problem, right? And like an internal truth. It's kind of like the people that were saying, like, there was this recent controversy with Fallout, is that everybody thought that Fallout was this anti-capitalism game, and then one of the creators of Fallout came out and said, no, it's actually about the idea that human nature can't change and that war is always inevitable. And it's like, I think, and people got mad at them for saying that. They were like, no, that's not what you meant. War never changes. Exactly, right? And so it's again,
This is stupid.
like the difference.
No, let me tell you how you think and what you meant. You see how it's stupid that sounds? Let me tell you what you meant. You see how stupid that sounds? Jesus Christ,
Between
these
like
people
the
are
innate
insane.
realities of human nature versus this
Man.
contemporary social issue. And you see, like, it's like the small-mindedness versus like the awareness of like the human condition. Yeah, and capitalism is part of that. Sure, right?
I mean, these games gets freaking publicly this kind of demolished will just give them a message that you shouldn't make a game like this. Like, it's nobody gonna play it, dude. They are still a minority. Like, what the fuck? LGBT community is minority, dude. Come on, accept the fact. Oh, Jesus Christ. If you make for them, nobody is gonna play it.
But like, it doesn't need to be.
That doesn't mean you don't have to have them either. Like, there is a good example for these kind of scenarios. Like in Avatar's Frontiers of Pandora, there is a dude. I don't. There is a dude that resembles that has that thing, but you will never feel like he is out of place. It was super. What do you call it? Like not out of place. Like it's super odd, but it was odd in a way. It's interesting. Like I actually want to know more about that guy when I was interacting with that guy. Because he looked completely like a woman, but he had a male voice. I was like, what is going on? I want to know more, you know? That piqued my interest more than just looking at a slop paint and calling him or he or she or anything like that. You know, just by looking at them, you will be more interested on them. And he was out there for a while. Like I think his name is like I don't know. I forgot. I'm not good with the names. But you will see him if you play Avatars of Frontiers of Pandora. He is there. You will see him. And he was kind of cool too.
Stated directly because in some cases
Like there are characters that will do their roles very well. Like some of I even imagine about it too. Like it's not a bad thing at all.
it can just be a play.
But it's the way you have to do it. It would be hilarious if Yu-Gi-Oh is sitting on its Kirito and Sword Art Online, you know? Like Yu-Gi-Oh is giving competition to freaking his harem. That would be funny as hell. Like that would be interesting. But what they did was they just killed Yu-Gi-Oh off. Like come on, in the anime.
Talking about video games.
Bro sounded so hard to the point he's dead.
I don't give a shit what your political opinion is. We're just talking about video games. We're not talking about your whole life. I don't want to know everything about you. I just want to know your opinion on a fucking video game when you watch a video. So let's just bring it back to basics. Let's have constructive, real conversations about video games. But this is about wrapping this video up.
You're not going to be able to have that, by the way.
Oh, you will be have that. There are so many indie streamers like myself who just call a spade because we don't get sponsored or we are not sellers. You know? Easy. But I will say my reviews are super subjective. If you have a similar taste that I have, you might be well satisfied about my recommendations. Just a TLDR.
You're just not. I think that right now, developers...
Like, for example, I don't want to... Like I think Elden Ring freaking bosses just so much damage. Looking at your HP bar sucks. If you're that kind of person, you might not like Elden Ring like me, you know? So there is a similarity. There is a similarity in taste.
And like game journalists. And this is one of the biggest things is that game journalism, one of the only advantages that it has over like a YouTube content creator is that usually these gaming companies have better connections with the companies that make the games than YouTubers do. And I think the outcome of that is that they're able to leverage those connections for a unique advantage in the marketplace of like, you know, like writing articles, etc.
Early access, early information, release dates. Yes, absolutely.
They're in too deep. Yeah, exactly. And so they're not going to give that up because that's their only value difference. Like
that's
between them
that's
and
the
let's say
aisle that
somebody
makes
like
their
me.
engine run. Yeah.
I just wanted to make this rant about toxic positivity in gaming because it is fucking ridiculous to see. And honestly, people just seem like robots nowadays. And if you have a negative opinion on a game, be prepared to get fucking scorned because all these fucking fake people, you know, I think it was RGT85 that called them positivity peddlers.
I feel like it's not about having a positive opinion. I feel like there are like pre-approved opinions. So like, for example, I feel like with Black Myth Wukong or with Hogwarts Legacy or with Pow World, it was much more acceptable to have a negative opinion about those games because of the social controversies that were surrounding them. And I think that with other games, like, for example, like Concord or Star Wars Outlaw or like the Assassin's Creed Shadows game that's coming out, it's like you also have pre-approved narratives as well. Yeah, profitable opinions. Products are not made by people who are enthusiastic about the product and a customer would be, but people keep buying garbage. Well, they don't. That's the problem.
Funny that one dude actually put it in his Twitter bio because he is, in fact, a positivity peddler. But let me know in the comments below what you think about this. Are you sick of seeing people seal clapping and praising and making excuses for fucking goy slob games that come out and these companies that don't give a shit about them like I am, or am I completely wrong? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for all the recent support. That one video I made about the state of modern PlayStation fucking popped off. It's almost 20,000 views, which is crazy.
Good for him.
Thank you guys for subscribing. Thank you for watching. Thank you for commenting and going back and forth with me in the comments. I love the debate. It's healthy. It's great. Thank you. And until next video, I'll see you.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's not a debate. What I'm making, I'm not here to debate. I'm here to make a statement. You know, this is a statement. You don't get to debate this.
Give me 1 second.
When I
let me
say the comment
try to
sucks,
go back
it
to this.
sucks.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Um,
today's
Period.
video I want to discuss.
Rage baiters are no better, to be honest. I think that the problem though is like, well, I do think actually toxic positivity is worse than toxic negativity. I think so. Video games got so big that activists entered the gaming industry. Yeah, I think that definitely happens for sure. Space Marine 2 and are now at 2 million players posted on Steam. Wait, what?
No, they
there's
are
no
not.
way. Like, let me see. 2 million
Really?
players. People.
I thought it lost to Helldivers.
You're thinking
Yeah.
about 2 million total sales? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
2 million sold. Really? Okay, let me just give me a minute. Let me finish talking about this and I'll look at it.
I don't know. I guess it's a better version of Helldivers.
2.
That's what I thought when I played it. But I found it boring
See if
though.
I can find it. Yeah, I'll look at it after this.
It played way better
But yeah,
than Helldivers,
anyway,
that's
I
for
think
sure.
this is what the problem has been for
But the
actually quite a while.
community is so lackluster.
It's been that a lot of these developers are giving favorable reviews and favorable criticism to games based off of criteria that don't reflect the interests of gamers. I think that's fundamentally what the problem is. And I think that existential problem has been growing over time. I think it's just gotten worse and worse and worse. Whereas now you have things like Black Myth Wukong and like Hogwarts Legacy, where you have people that are giving games like a 3 out of 5 based off of something that doesn't even have to do with the game. Or you have people that are flat out refusing to review a game because it's Hogwarts Legacy. Yeah, they stun like actual reviews. Yeah, exactly. Are you still considering the call of random chatters an idea? Oh, I don't know. Why is everybody using the term grifter nowadays? People use the word grifter because it invalidates a person's opinions. The idea with grifting is that you're only doing it for money and you don't actually have that opinion. It's just another word for shit-talking retards to use to complain whenever they hear an idea that they don't agree with. But I do think that there is a degree of grifting that happens with everything, right? And I think with this, that's the case. But yeah, I hate these. I hate a lot of people worked hard on this defense. So what? A lot of people worked hard on the 2 Boeing planes that flew themselves into the ground. Hard work by itself isn't a virtue. Hard work that results in value to the world is.
Damn.
Man.
Jesus Christ. That been said by a sage. He's probably freaking doing meditation on a mountain, dude. God.
Black
Or
Myth
he's just
Wukong.
a